Hey all, Ranger Liz here. I just got done recording the Ranger Weekend review, and I was talking about Izzy and all this stuff, and I figured I better make a video. So, yeah, first LGBT Ranger on the television show. Let's talk. Just making more work for myself, but I want to put this in its own video. It deserves its own video. It's monumental, but where do I even start with it? I loved Izzy the fact that she tore her skirt off. We're back in episode 4. And it hit me hard. It hit me really hard. For the quick backstory of that, it's just I've always been a tomboy. I played sports. I'm just not a dress person, you know? And I hate skirts. And I don't like skirts, but I wanted a Power Ranger cosplay, and so to do Power Ranger cosplay, I had to have a skirt. So I said, fine, Power Rangers, I will put on a skirt. And it meant a lot when she tore that skirt off. And, I mean, they could have just not mentioned it at all. You know, they could have did nothing with it like they did with any other season where a female has no skirt. But she was like, no, I just don't like skirts. They showed her ripping it off. And that felt great because she did what I couldn't. She became a Power Ranger with no skirt, willingly. And yeah, it meant a lot. And then you hear the rumblings and stuff. And I mean, obviously it's like, okay, Izzy seems pretty queer-coded. I get, you know, it's like, the Gator's kind of going off or whatever. And then, you know, you start seeing these rumblings. You're like, no, are they? Really? Really? And episode 13 came along. Or 14, I guess. I think I said 13 in the Ranger Weekend review. Yeah, so Fern, who we met, not with a name, back in episode 4, she was in it, and they were training for something, and I guess, obviously, if you watched the episode before, Power Rangers, pretend I took a plane to France or something, I gotta talk about this, so whatever. She was in another one, and so I didn't get to see that, but Izzy was getting dolled up. By dolled up, I mean literally, like, she's her hair different, you know, she put, like, perfume on or something. And, you know, with Izzy playing matchmaker, you just assume, like, you do. Like, you know, you see her getting ready, and you see her like, oh, she's probably attracted to one of them, and obviously it was this guy that she was next to. Who knows, maybe if it was a girl she was next to, Izzy would have thought of that way too. Though his face at the end, I wasn't quite thinking that. Wow, this whole episode hit me like a ton of bricks. And I, oddly enough, did not really cry as much as I thought I would. But, like, the whole time, I had this knot in me, because you feel, you know, it's not just, like, empathy when, like, you're feeling for someone. It's when you're like, I've literally been there. Like, you know exactly what they're feeling. And yeah, and who knows, this is probably a poster for the Ranger Weekend review, but I've had this scenario happen. Like, it's weird and it's awkward, and you don't want to say things, but you kind of have to at some point. And this whole show was Javi was words, but the show and Izzy and everything was actions speak louder than words. And thank you to Simon Bennet, thank you to the writers, thank you to everyone who probably had to work very, very hard for this to become a thing. For Izzy and another girl to hold hands. Something that I'm not going to say is we would just take for granted as Power Ranger fans, because we get a handful of romance, you know, in seasons. A Ranger likes each other. You know, we just had Zoe and Nate. I was gonna call him Nate Dogg, which is not his name, and Tyler and Shelby and Calvin and whatever the hell her name was, Haley. So we've had Ranger relationships. It's like a staple of the latest seasons. And maybe we still will, because obviously I've been on the Ollie and Amelia ship since like episode 1 or 2. So I've been calling that one already. They'll probably end up together anyway, but just hey, fine, give us 2 couples. That's great. Throw the straights something. For the first time ever in Power Rangers. Oh, go throw the straights a bone. Give them a relationship too. Wow. So thank you. I guess thanks to whoever Nickelodeon said okay. But Simon, thank you. This everything just, it's felt different in the best way since you've taken over. And to Tessa Rao, like, oh my god, and you were just like, I just got to talk to you a week and a half ago, and just the way you played it off, the way you played it, it was very authentic, and it was very well received for me, someone who's been there. Overall, it was just great. I just smile. It makes me happy. It makes me, I don't say proud, but yeah, I've said for so long, I was like, anyone can be a ranger, it's in your heart. And again, we've had queer-coded characters, people who were like, well, you know, they're probably gay or whatever, but this is, and I don't know, maybe she's bi, pan, I'm gonna fucking care. But she at least got to hold hands with a girl, and that meant a lot to me. My daughter hasn't seen it yet. I don't think she'll care at all, because she doesn't. We watch Owl House together. Well, censored Owl House, the violence and stuff. The Owl Beast, she's scared to death of Eda when she's the Owl Beast. But she loves the show, other words, and, you know, not total spoilers, but with Luce and Amity, there's no questions. There's no, well, why does she, like, she cares. It's a show. It's two characters. They like each other. So it just goes with it, and she's 4.5. She doesn't care. I can't imagine many little kids really caring, and in fact, if you have a 3 or 4-year-old who sees that and freaks out, maybe you should think about what you're teaching them, because that'd be horrible. But it just felt really great, and I just wanted to say thank you. And I know this is long and rambly, and maybe not what anybody, you know, thought I was gonna get at for all of this, but it just made me feel happy. And yeah, a few tears were shed. Oddly enough, I'm not crying right now. I don't know why. So the episode aired in France. It's gonna be airing in Canada soon, and eventually we'll get it in the US. And there'll be a lot more ripples, a lot more waves, you know, when more people see it. Probably see a lot more about it whenever it actually airs on the US channel. So, you know, hopefully, Paul, man, please put up something on that Power Ranger main page. I think it's a day that we should all celebrate. It's just another wall knocked down that there are people who still couldn't think they'd be a ranger. Now they can. And there's still a lot of walls to be knocked down. But it's just one that, you know, I obviously had a strong connection to. The world's a little different from when I was in high school 15 years ago or so. They don't have to march to try to get married. Like, you could just go and married. Thank God. Actually, I'm kind of happy that the marriage wasn't legal when I was younger, because oh my God, I'm so happy I didn't marry my ex. But we've come a long way from just Willow on TV, and now they can have Izzy. So, thank you, Simon. Thank you to the entire cast, production, for fighting and getting this in. I've heard the fighting that other shows have to do to try to get one LGBT character, how their shows were just turned down. So it just means the world to a lot of us. Thank you, Tessa, for just definitely not shying away from it. You two looked adorable together. So, yeah, I gotta edit the Ranger Week in Review, so I'm just happy. I guess at the end of the day, that's what this is. This is just my feelings and thoughts on what it meant to finally see a gay character on Power Rangers, on the TV show. Let's take away from the movies, the comic books. The movies was like, they literally didn't even say the word and there was nothing about it. But thank you so much. I'm gonna wrap this up. No one told you today I love you and I think you're awesome. I'll see you at the next video. Toodles.